今日は私たちが、神戸と大阪で経験した楽しい思い出を語りましょう。AJ 夫妻と私と金子さんの4人で、過ごしました。そこで私たちの本に祈祷をしてもらいました。こういう本への祈祷などは西洋でもあるのですか？
No, no, I never heard of anything like that. It was such a great experience and completely unusual. I can't think of any equivalent in the West.
え
No, no, yeah.
こういう日本的な行動があなたにとって面白い経験になると思いました。ですからできるだけ伝統的な様式を実行するようにしました。神社に祈祷をお願いする場合はお供えを献上します。昔は農作物や海産物、それからお酒などがお供えになりましたが、今はお金です。ですから、こういうお金をのし袋に入れて、さらにこういう服さに包んで、渡します。直接お金を渡すのは失礼だからです。のし袋はあげて、服さは返してくれます。この服さは私の家の
Mm.
庭家の服さです。あ
Do
なた
do
に、
people do people do this often? Is this a common thing for
No,
Japanese people?
it's an old tradition,
Mm.
but it's interesting for you.
Mm. Yes, very, very interesting. I'm so glad we did this.
あなたにものし袋に名前を書いてもらいましたね。日本の筆で。
Yes, yes, I love those. I meant to buy one. I want to use it just for artwork.
え This is 筆、
Mm.
筆ペン。
They're lovely.
そして本殿に上がって私たちの本を神職に預けて、祈祷してもらいました。祈祷の中で私たちの名前や本のタイトル、本の発行年などがちゃんと読み上げられたのは驚きましたね。
That was amazing. I didn't expect that. And
いえ、
when I heard the title of the book and our names in the prayers chanted in that very formal,
い
traditional
え。
way, like, yeah, I've never experienced anything like that. I felt the goosebumps, this. It was
Yes,
really, really special. I was amazed.
I also goosebumped.
It felt, I mean, because this is a book about the blend of Japanese and
Yeah,
modern American culture,
yeah,
there was something really special about having it. I don't know, giving the sort of the authority of the shrine's stamp of approval,
yeah.
it felt special. It felt like an achievement.
神職の祈祷が終わると、私はみんなを代表して前に進み出て、榊を奉納しました。聖なる木です。そして、柏手を打ちました。二礼、
Mm.
二拍で一礼が正式です。あなたの席から私の様子が見えましたか？
Yes, yes. I panicked for a second because I thought, do I have to do that as well? Um, but then I realized that you were doing it on our behalf. So
Yes.
so that was perfect. It was great. Mm.
私はかなり緊張しましたが、正式な姿勢と正式な動作をすることはできました。と、
Yeah, I've done it before at other shrines just by sort of copying other people.
うん。
following what they do. But I've certainly never done it as part of an actual ceremony like that.
うん。言葉にすればこれだけの儀式なんですけれども、まあ、様式美を感じるとても素晴らしい儀式でした。どう感じましたか？
Yeah, I loved it. Of course, I wish I totally understand that we can't record, we can't video or do audio recordings, and that's fine. I respect the process and the place, so I would not do that. But I wish just for my memory, I wish I could go back and relive
う
the
ん。
experience because it was so special, you know. So I try to remember exactly the way that it worked so that I don't forget. Because yeah, it was, you know, I lived in Japan almost 40 years ago for 2 years. I've been back to Japan many, many times, but I've never experienced anything like that. And it was dramatic and almost mystical and special, but it also felt very welcoming.
うん。
And um, I think sometimes it's hard for foreigners to feel like they belong.
うん。
In Japan, it's a very homogenous
うん。
culture, and we are clearly not part of it. And I understand that. So I often feel like I'm on the outside of things. And in that ceremony, I felt like I was being welcomed
うん。
into something special and private and unique. And I really, really appreciated it. And I was struck also by how friendly and welcoming the priest
Oh,
was. I
yes.
was
He was
very
very
surprised.
friendly.
Yes. I, I I thought he would be very distant and
Yes.
um,
Dignity.
dignified, which he was
Yes.
in the ceremony. During the ceremony,
Yes.
he was very dignified and priestly. I was really surprised at how talkative and friendly and welcoming and supportive. That's the thing. That it felt supportive of our work.
Yes. 神職が直々に本に、朱印と筆書きをしてくださいました。あまり書かないので、うまく書けたか自信がありませんと謙遜されていましたが、見事なものです。これですね。
Mm.
あなたの本と私の本にそれぞれ書いてもらいました。これは間違いなく家宝ですよ。
Definitely.
アメリカレジャー。
I will I keep mine very kept keep it safe and so that I don't accidentally mix it in with my other copies and sell it at a exhibition or
Yes,
convention or something.
yes,
It's so beautiful, lovely.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
He said, I don't write very often.
Yeah, yeah, I'm surprised. So,
Yeah,
so again, this is not a normal thing for
yeah.
do other authors when they produce a book, would other Japanese authors consider doing this?
Not so often.
Mm,
Very
mm,
rare and
yeah.
very precious.
Yes. When you first spoke to the priest about the book and the project, you told him what the book
Yes,
was about and things like that, and he was what? He was supportive, he was
yes,
interested.
yes. He was very interested in our work, and he's so friendly person. He
Yeah.
smiles
Yes.
for our book.
Yeah. I was so surprised. It was not what I expected of a a Shinto priest.
Yeah.
Mm. I have no experience. I mean, I have been, visiting shrines for many, many years. I don't think I've never had a conversation with a priest. Not a real
Oh.
conversation.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
Very surprising. In a good way. Good surprise.
まあ、これで私たちの本が日本とアメリカで魔法の力を発揮することでしょう。
I hope so. I hope so. But, who needs marketing experts when we have Nagata Shrine?
その後、大江さんが神社の説明をしてくださいました。伝説では西暦200年頃に開かれた由緒ある神社です。境内には800年前の灯籠もあります。赤エイの絵馬がたくさんありました。スティングレイの絵馬が。で、永田神社の付近は、昔は海岸線が近くて、赤エイが産卵で岸の近くまで来ていたそうです。ある時台風で多くのエイが打ち上げられて、神社のご神木に張り付いていた。で、エイは栄養価が高くて美味しかったので、住民はご神木を健康の守り神と考えるようになったそうです。赤エイの絵馬の近くにあった古い大木がご神木です。面白いですね。
Yeah. Is that the primary source of the shrine? The tree itself? Is that the main focus of the shrine? Or is there a kami which is separate from the tree?
うーん、perhaps so. The tree is a kami, I think.
Mm.
All the tree is a kami, but I don't know very well.
Yeah.
その後、金子さんのダンススタジオへ行きました。素敵なスタジオだっ
Mm.
たですね。
Yes, I thought it was great. I wish we could see her working in there, someday. But yeah, beautiful little space, really bright and airy, and I like the mirrored wall and such. Great for dancers.
Yes. We picture the cover photo
Yeah,
of
yes.
the new album.
Yes.
その後、大阪の能楽堂へ行って、能の公演とグリムスパンキーのライブを鑑賞しました。古典とロックという不思議な組み合わせでしたね。
Mm-mm. Yeah, I had no idea how the two things would fit together, a no performance, traditional no performance in all the costumes and everything, and then a Glim Spanky performance. But I mean, I think in some ways the strength of the event was that they did not try to fit the two things together, but they were presented as two separate things. But I kept thinking after it that in some ways there are points of similarity because the kind of music that Glim Spanky plays has a kind of retro sound, that their analogs are in 60s rock, psychedelia and of course they were doing an acoustic set, which always feels a little bit more organic. So it was like both events were kind of monuments to the present and past power of
うん、
art forms, right? Both the dramatic art form in the no theater and the musical form to show that both continue to have effect on stage. I thoroughly enjoyed both
Yeah.
events, completely different, but in some ways doing something similar. I really, really enjoyed it.
The no stage is very acoustic, very,
Mm,
very acoustic, and good
mm.
sound.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I mean, and the audience, of course, for the no performance is very polite and quiet and restrained. And I think it's hard for a rock band to then come on and play, right? Like they're playing to a big a crowd of cheering people. Of course, they don't get that. But I was really impressed with the way the band came out and they it was a full, passionate, emotional performance, even though it was a very quiet space.
うん。能の演目は大絵でした。お面を二重にかけておき、それを外す早変わりが見どころでした。僧侶の願いを聞き入れた天狗が釈迦に化けて説法を行う。しかしそれを知った帝釈天が起こって天狗を懲らしめると釈迦のお面や装束が天狗のものに変わるという変身ものです。能の歌いや笛や太鼓が何とも言えない、日本的な美しさでした。
Yeah, yeah. I'm always fascinated by anything that represents Japanese stories of shapeshifting and disguise. And I was really struck by when I was watching the play because we had been given the outline of the story. We knew what the story was. I still found myself surprised by the transition at the end because I wasn't absolutely sure until late in the story that when the Buddhist in the figure with the Buddhist mask, I didn't realize that was the Tengu until until
The
the
nose is
transformation.
short.
Yes. Yeah. So even though I knew the story, I was still surprised. And I think it's the kind of drama where the aesthetics, the artistic form, both the vocal style and the costumes, the really sort of sumptuous, gorgeous costumes become your primary focus, right? Meaning
うん、
story is almost less important
うん、
than the aesthetic experience. So I was absorbed by it and then surprised by the twist at the end.
うん。そして能の歌いや、笛や鼓の音がすごく日本的で美しかったですね。
Yeah, some of the I don't know what you would I don't know what you call them, what the official names are, but the backing vocal. It's not a backing,
Yes.
but you know what I
Chanting.
mean,
No
right?
chanting.
Yeah, the people who are sort of there's they use their voices to sort of punctuate
うん。
the overall story, the sound that we get from the voices of the two characters. I found that absolutely fascinating, and the level of skill and precision, um, I thought was really terrific. I loved it. It was a much more visceral
うん。
experience. I mean, a much more sort of gut level
うん。
experience, right? And I always assumed that no was very cerebral, very intellectual, but I actually found it much more satisfying on a very basic level, very both the artistry and the aesthetics of the thing, but also a kind of that the effect of the sound and the visuals just on my senses.
うん。
Even though when I wasn't completely following everything that was being said, of course, I still found myself engaged and uh, entertained.
うん。
Mm.
で、その後最後にみんなで潜水艦バーに行きました。 これは説明しようがないほど奇妙なバーで、私たちは本物の潜水艦の中に入ったように錯覚しました。
I loved it. I mean, I don't even know how you found it in the first place because going down those little alleys, and I'm
Yes.
like, we're gonna get killed. It's just dark. There's no signs. There's
Yes.
nothing.
The door is completely closed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
here?
Like you have to know where you're going to find
Yes.
it. You can't.
Yes.
This is not something you could stumble on by accident, you know?
Eh,
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was really neat and such a clever use of a small space.
hmm.
Really good. Mm.
Have you ever ride a real submarine?
Um, I have been in when did I did go in a submarine. When? I've been in like battleships,
Hmm.
surface
Oh,
ships. Not, but I'm pretty sure I've been in a submarine, but I can't remember when. I'm not sure. It was a long time ago. But um, but I remember that sense of claustrophobia, right? That sense of being in a really tight
hmm.
space, everything very, very close together. Um, but yeah, I can't remember, but I think I have.
以上が、一日のすべてでしたが、どうですか？何が一番楽しかったですか？
Each of those three main episodes was so different that they were all I thoroughly enjoyed all of them, but they're so different that I can't compare, right? It's apples and oranges. They're different things, you know. But I mean, I think the ceremony itself, I mean, they were all unique things. They were all things that I will probably never repeat
うん、
in my life. The ceremony, the concert combined with the no performance and a unique bar experience with people who I have come to care about, right? Um, and you know, at the bar, part of the bar itself was fantastic, but it was also special because we were there together, that we have been talking for a long time, but this was the first day that we had actually spent together and we got along, we enjoyed each other's company, and we had shared these experiences. So our enjoyment of the bar was partly about the place, but it was also about yourself and Kaneko-san being together. So these were all great experiences which I will never have again. So I lived in Japan for 2 years in the late 1980s. And it took me over 10 years. After I left, it took me over 10 years to go back. And part of the reason for that was that having lived in Japan, I didn't want to be just a tourist.
うん、
Because for a while I had felt like I was part of the place, part of the country. And to go back as a tourist felt less,
うん、
felt somehow, you know, I don't know, different. And of course, I got used to the idea, and we have been back to Japan many times since, and we are tourists. I know that. I've accepted it. But on this trip, also, it felt closer to when we lived in Yamanashi. And we were just doing ordinary things and not simply going to sites or museums or special tourist things, but also just living there, just being there. You know, this was, for example, one day we took a train and then rented bicycles and cycled for, I don't know, 15 miles across the countryside and looked at shrines and things along the way. But it was the first time I had ridden a bicycle in Japan for
あ、
nearly 40 years. When I lived in Japan, I cycled every day, you know? And so just being there and just cycling around and just seeing the country like an ordinary person,
うん。
as opposed to just a tour. Yeah, it was special.
You're very healthy in Japan.
Well, hopefully.
まあ、今ふと思ったんですけど、あの一日、つまり長田神社からノーシアターからサブマリンバー、あれってジブリのアニメになると思いませんか？スピリテッドアウェイみたいな。
Yeah. I mean, that's why I was saying those three experiences are so different
うん。
and so unusual that it really felt like a journey, a sort of magical experience that took us, maybe we never left the shrine. Maybe we're still
Yes.
there.
Or spirit away.
That's right. Yeah, yes. Yeah. I mean, it made me really enthusiastic to come back and write,
うん。
and to work on this book and make some progress because I felt like we had a good balance of the everyday, the ordinary in Japan, and the sublime, the special, the mystical, the magical, a different. It's like, when we talk about the Tori as a kind of portal between the
Yeah.
ordinary world and the yokai world or the magical world.
うん。
I felt like that. I felt like we were on that border
うん。
between two different worlds. So, yeah.
終わりましょうか。
Okay.
なんかすごく楽しかったです。あ
Yeah.
りがとう。
Yeah. Thank you. No, it was great. I enjoyed it as well. It was good to reconnect and to share our memories.
Yes.
And that was such a great day. And
Yeah.
again, thank you so much for meeting with us and for arranging everything. We could not have done that without you. And it was really special.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.